Hey everyone, it's Sarah from the Art Studio. Today we're going to be making a Sculpy Clay Relief project. So first I got some Sculpy Clay. I got some carving tools. If you don't have any carving tools, you can use any kind of tools you can find at home. Maybe like a paper clip could work, a sewing needle could work, and even a sharpened pencil could work, all for cutting our pieces of Sculpy Clay and carving things out. Then we're also going to need some paintbrushes. And then I also got some paint that we're going to use to paint our Sculpy Clay after it's done being baked in our oven or toaster oven. Alright, so let's get started. So one of the first things we're going to start doing is breaking apart our clay and molding it between our hands, getting it really soft. You should be able to mold it completely in the palm of your hand and be able to pull it apart so that's workable. So again, once your clay is at a very nice soft texture, we're ready to start molding. So I'm going to clear my area away. I also put down a piece of newspaper. If you're working on a tabletop, it might be a good idea to put a piece of paper down or a piece of newspaper just so that it doesn't stick to the paper. It's a non-stick surface. So I'm going to start taking my clay and I'm going to try and make a rectangular shape for my relief. So I'm going to start making, flattening out my clay. I flattened out the whole piece. I'm going to lay that down. Soften up this clay again. So once I got this clay softened again, I'm going to start flattening out using my thumbs, pressing together, just trying to make the same thickness throughout, pinching my clay between my fingers. Something like that. So I already did that to a piece over here. So I'm trying to make a rectangular shape. So I'm going to cut some of this clay and piece it together. And push the sides together. Clay, some over here. Just trying to even this out a little bit. It into the shape that I want my relief in, and I'm going to go for a rectangle. If you guys don't have a carving tool, pencil works really great for cutting out pieces like this, or a sewing needle like I said, or a paper clip. So I got my rectangle. Now I'm just going to soften out all these edges, rubbing my finger back and forth. them just to smooth those rough edges out. So now it's nice and smooth. So we're ready to start molding our actual pieces. So we're going to start with the background pieces of our relief first when we're putting our clay down. So for me, that's going to be the grass in the background of my ladybug. So I'm going to start rolling out some pieces of grass. So I'm going to roll one out with my finger. Down as I go, and I'm going to flatten it with my finger. I'm also going to draw a thin line. Just like that. I got one blade of grass on there. Do another one so you guys can see. And I'm going to continue putting my blades of grass down until I fill up the whole relief. I'm going to do them at all different heights and going of different directions. So now that I got my blades of grass on there, and I like the way they look, I'm going to finish smoothing them out. I already smoothed out most of them, but you want to make sure they're really perfect. There's no little bumps on them or other little pieces of clay, because once it's baked, it's going to stay this way. So we really want to make sure it's the way we want it. So once you have that done, we're going to start making some of our ladybugs. So again, I'm going to make sure my clay is really soft. Mold it pretty good. And I'm going to start off by breaking apart half the clay I have right here. And I'm going to make a smaller circular disc shape. Now mine's pretty thick, so I'm going to make mine a lot thinner by pinching it between my thumb and my pointer finger with both of my hands. I'm just going to keep going around until it's the same thickness. now that I got the thickness throughout, and it's much thinner, I'm now going to carve out a circle. It's okay if it's not perfect. Here's mine. Now I'm just going to smooth out the edges. Try and round it out as best as I can. Now once I got that done, I'm going to take my clay again. I'm going to soften it. Start making the wings for our ladybug. So I'm going to start off by making like a teardrop shape or a flower petal shape, and I'm going to try my best to round it out. Make it a little bit thicker by pressing between the thumb. Bite your finger again. So something like that. Now I'm going to lay this down. And I'm going to make a second one too. And after I make the second one, then I'm going to cut them and shape them to the correct size for our ladybug. Because this is a little bit too big. My second one. So now I'm placing them on here. I'm just going to take a look and see what works, what doesn't work. So I don't think these teardrop shapes are working, so I'm going to take some more of my clay and I'm going to mold it again, and I'm going to make another circular disc shape just like our ladybug. Try and make it for the same size, but I might have to cut it out. So instead of making several like I did the last time, I'm just going to flatten out a piece of clay and I'm going to carve a circle out of it. It's okay if it's not perfect, because this circle we are going to cut in half to make our wings. So instead of a teardrop shape, we're just going to use half of the circle. So I'm going to make sure all my edges are smooth. I'm going to place these down here. One of them's a little thicker on the other side, so I'm just going to trim that a tiny bit. So it should look something like this. At this point, we're going to take other little dots of clay and we're going to ball them up between our fingers. Just like that. And we're going to place it down onto our ladybug. Press down flat with our fingers and make a circle. And we're we're gonna do all different sizes. So I want some really small ones. And also some big ones. All different shapes and sizes. So I got a small one right there. So that's one side of my ladybug wing. And do the other one. So I got one little ladybug. Now I'm also going to take a little bit more clay and I'm going to make a half circle shape just with my fingers, nothing perfect. Just something like this. Ooh. Place this on top of the ladybug, right here, base, press it down, and this is a good time to use a tool so I can really flush the edges in together. So I'm just taking the clay and pulling it to the opposite edge. Smoothing it out. So we got something like that. Now I'm also going to make little antennas for her, but I'm going to do that later on once we put her on here. And I'm also going to make, I think one more little ladybug, just a little baby one. So I'm going to do the same exact process I did. I'm going to take a piece of clay and I'm going to flatten it out. And I'm going to carve out a circle the size I want my ladybug to be. This looks pretty good. So I'm going to do the same thing again, flatten out a piece again, carve out another circle, roughly the same size as your ladybug. Now we are going to cut that in half. I have to redo mine was too small. Flatten it out, and I'm going to cut a circle the size I want, and then cut in half. And then make sure all my sides are really smooth. mini ladybug, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put little dots on her wing, so I'm going to roll out a little ball. And I'm just going to start placing those on there. Okay, and so once we got our ladybugs done and made, we're ready to start figuring out where we want to place them. So I'm going to start just trying to figure out what looks best where. So I figured out where I want to put them, so I'm just going to cut out the little bit of grass in the area that I'm putting it, just because I don't want her popping up too much. So then I'm going to do a few little marks down where I'm going to put her, just like that. I'm going to flip this around so you guys can see a little bit better. I'm going to place her right here. And I'm going to press as hard down as I can while squishing her. And I'm going to take whatever tool I'm using. I'm going to try and push down some of the edges. Show you in 1 second. So I think you guys can see. So this whole side I went and pushed down the edges so they're flushed right with the clay we made for the background. And I didn't do this side yet, so you see how we can still see like a little bit underneath the ladybug, and this side we can't? That's because I pressed the clay down really well in there. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit. So I just press down, going around the whole thing, making sure it's really flush, and it's going to stay stuck together. Be really careful and really take your time because this isn't a race. So I got one ladybug, and we don't want to squish anything. So I got one ladybug on there, and I'm going to put my other one. And I picked about right here, so I'm going to cut the little spot I have for her right in stretch marks and press down without squishing as much as I can. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try my best to make all the edges flush with the original piece of clay. Now I got both of my ladybugs on there. And at this point, I think I'm almost done making my relief, but I'm just going to really smooth out my background. So I'm going to make sure everything is perfect before we bake. So I smoothed everything out, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a few little eyelashes and a face on my ladybugs. So for some eyelashes, I'm actually going to make the eyes first. I'm going to do 2 little balls out of the clay. Place those on there. Can't really see too well. So I got 2 eyes on our bigger ladybug, and then I got 2 eyes on our smaller one. And at this point, we are ready to bake. Now, something you might notice, something with mine is, I'm getting a little crack right here. So what I'm going to do, we want to check for cracks first before we bake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press these 2 pieces really well together. And then I'm going to try and smooth it a bit. Flip it around, go in the back. Make sure that it's really smooth and well combined. Another thing we can do is take a piece of clay that's really soft. Press that on top just to keep it more together and combined. So once you're officially done and ready to bake. So once you're done modeling your Sculpy clay piece, it's ready to bake in our oven. So you're going to grab your parents who are going to help you do this. You're going to preheat your oven to 275, anywhere between 260 and 275. Then you're going to grab a tray with some aluminum foil, and you're going to gently place your piece onto your tray. Once your oven has reached its temperature, we're going to place it in there, and you're going to watch it every 5 minutes for anywhere between 10 to 25 minutes it could take to bake, depending on how big and thick your piece is. So the smaller and thinner your pieces, the quicker it'll bake. When you touch your clay, when it's soft like this, your fingernail will make an indent just like that. When it's baking, it's gonna harden up, but once you take it out, it's gonna harden up even more. But in the oven, you shouldn't really be able to make an indent with your nail. So that's a telltale sign with your parents when they're helping you. And also, if it starts to get a little bit brown on any edges or turn a reddish color on any edges, that means it's definitely done and it's gonna get a little bit burnt. But that's fine too. So once it's done, you're gonna take it out of the oven and place it, take it off of the metal tray tray too. So you're going to take the tinfoil off of the tray and place it on its cool place like a table. And we're going to leave it there for about a half an hour to completely cool down before we're going to paint it. And then we're going to get decorating. So once we're done baking, it should look something like this. Mine turned an off-white tannish color, and it's hard to touch. And when I press my nail into it, it doesn't make an indent. And it's all cool, so we're ready to paint. I started off by mixing some white and blue together, and I made our background color. Now I'm gonna look for the smallest paintbrush I have, because we gotta get into a lot of little spots and crevices in here with our ladybug. So I'm gonna put this up here so you guys can see better. I'm gonna start painting. Now I'm gonna really take my time and not rush, because I don't want to make any mistakes. So I painted my entire background blue for the sky and also the sides of my relief. Now I'm going to take some green and we're going to add some yellow to make a nice lime green. So we're going to add some yellow and make a nice lime green. Brush off, and we're going to carefully paint over our grass, and we're going to try our best to not get into the blue of our background. And once I've completely painted all of my stalks of grass green, I'm then going to take some white with a little bit of yellow, mix that together, and I'm going to do brush strokes on my grass with some light yellow, just for a little dimension. Just like that. I'm going to clean my brush off. And now we're going to take some red. And we're going to mix the tiniest amount of white in there. I am just going to paint over the entirety of my wings. we're gonna paint the dots a different color. We're gonna paint than the wings, but we can paint over it red first. Once we got our red on there, we're going to let that dry a tiny bit. And then we're going to move on to our next color. And once my red was dry, I then filled in my black. So I filled in the little bellies of our ladybugs and their dots and their faces. So now I'm going to let this dry, and then we're going to do our finishing touches with some white. And then once my black was all dry, I then added my white. And I did some highlights on their eyes and a little highlights on their little bodies. And this is it, guys. I hope you guys had fun today. I know I definitely did. I love this project. And if you guys have any extra clay, I have a little bit left. You guys can make anything else you like. Maybe I'll make another relief, or you can make another small object. But hopefully we'll see you guys soon. And I hope you guys had a good time. Bye.